I wanted to briefly show the commands for masks again, because I don't want you guys to have to go back through all of those videos to find the commands for just working with standard masks. So in brief, if we were to have, say, just an object on a background and nothing too fancy going on, and we went to create a mask, there are a handful of ways to go about that. I take the brush, and I'm going to do a standard hard round brush. If I were to just paint, it would be normal painting, no worries. If I were to click the Add Layer Mask button instead, I now can either paint or I can click on the mask icon and mask. If I want to, so that's how you navigate between editing the mask and working on the mask. You can also click on it in the channels palette. Most people don't have the channels palette open, so just clicking between the thumbnails is fine. Pay attention though, make sure your property will say that you're on masks, or it will say that if you're on a pixel layer. Or vector layer, depending. So pay attention to that. I've accidentally painted on stuff I didn't mean to and saved in the past. It happens to the best of us. Don't worry about that. Pressing the Alt key will allow you to edit just the mask so you can see what's going on. So I could paint in with different values of color to make different opacities of stuff happen. If I wanted to, I can make now gentle selections inside of things, and I can fill it with a gradient. That's a bad gradient. Here's a good gradient. Deselect, Control D, and you can see that the mask is now doing interesting applications to it. If I went to see what it looked like before, Shift key, boom. We'll disable it, notice the red X. Shift click on the thumbnail again, we'll re-enable it. Control click on the thumbnail, we'll get the selection. So if I wanted to, for example, Shift click there, Control C, Control V. This is literally the shape now. There's on this duplicate layer. So those are the main commands. You have Alt to go into it. You have Shift to disable it. You have the toggle between the two to see what's going on. Shift to re-enable it as well. You can also just click on it a whole bunch. Sometimes it'll re-enable. Don't worry about that though. Control click to select. Those are how you interact. And to get rid of it, drag it to your little trash can. Or if you're afraid you're going to miss, you can click and activate your mask so that you've got your mask active. Your property has a flyout menu that will allow you to do some great stuff in there. Also has a little trash can next to it that will allow you to throw it away. You also have the layer menu and layer mask and disable or delete. It's right in there. If you delete it, we'll get rid of it. If you want to apply it permanently, drag it to the trash can, gives you that option, but you may not want to do that because you might have a ton of stuff and you're scrolling around. That's aggravating. Not a problem. Select the mask. Again, you have different edits available, such as this icon in your properties palette, but apply mask. If you don't have that available, you can just go over to layer. You can go over to layer mask and apply, and that will apply the layer mask. So you could do all kinds of things. So I'm just going to undo a few times. All kinds of things. Those are the main ones to remember: Control, Shift, Alt, and also properties. One other thing I didn't mention, you can have kind of a second layer mask going on. It's going to be the vector mask though at that point. So if you keep adding on, that's not the same thing. We're going to talk about vector masks much later in the semester. You're not actually masking a mask. There is a way to do that using groups. I'll show you in just a moment.